This is video 1.4, and the goal of this video is to be able to solve a linear equation. So let's take a look at some examples here. So a couple things to keep in mind. Your goal is to find all the values that x can be to make the sides equal. So why I put x in quotes because maybe the variable is y or a. So we're really finding all values for the variable that can make the sides equal. So sometimes there's many values, and we say things like all solutions, and sometimes there's only one answer, and sometimes there's no solution. So we want to keep an eye out for those. Now let's take a look at the first example. The first example, so remember we draw our line down the equals sign to keep things equal, and it looks like the first thing I'm going to do is start with getting rid of those parentheses on the left. The parentheses on the left are really unnecessary, but sometimes you'll see them in real life because we'll be grouping things. So I simply take them off because it was adding x minus 3. So I just cancel that out and I have the same exact thing. Now on the right though, I see I can simplify by adding those two x's together. 3x and 2x make 5x minus 4. Now I'm going to look at the left again and see that I can simplify the left-hand side. The two x's can combine to give me 3x's. And the two constants, negative 3 and negative 3, both being subtracted, subtract 3, altogether I'd subtract 6. And that, of course, equals 5x minus 4. Now I need to start getting the x's together and alone. Those are the constant things I constantly say to students. Get the x's together and alone. You've done a lot of simplifying now, together and alone. I usually start with the together idea. Get the x's together by subtracting 3x from both sides. That gets no x's on the left and simply negative 6. On the right, 5x minus 3x gives me 2x, and then I just copy down the minus 4. So now I have the x's together. Take a look at the side with the x. Now I want to get them alone. So I get them alone by adding 4 to both sides because it will make the minus 4 a 0. Adding 4 to the right-hand side makes a 0. I'm left with only 2 x's. On the left-hand side, negative 6 plus 4 is negative 2. Be careful when you're adding these things. Make sure you're using your calculator to check what you're doing in your head. I love it when students try to do things in their heads, but we should use our calculator to check our result. So try it in your head and then check it on a calculator. Now the final step here is to get only 1x. So we got the x's alone and together, but it says 2x and we want 1x. So we divide by 2 on both sides. Because 2x divided by 2 will give me 1x. And then on the left, I'll get negative 1. The answer here is x equals negative 1. This is the only value for x that will make this equation equal. Now, example 2. Again, start with my line. Make sure I keep things equal on both sides. I'm going to copy the left side because there's nothing for me to simplify. But the right side, I see parentheses. So I'm going to copy what's before the parentheses. And then I'm going to flip what's inside because it was minus parentheses a plus a squared. So just like combining like terms, we got to be careful when we're simplifying. So we minus a and we minus a squared. Both of them become minus because they're being flipped. Now I see on the right that I can simplify some stuff by putting the a's together. 4a minus a is a 3a. Everything else gets copied down, the 5 and the minus a squared. On the left, I'm simply going to copy everything down. So now I focus on my goal. My variable is a. So I want to get all the a's together and alone. So let's see, the first thing that I can do is I can add a squared to both sides because that will make zeros on the left and the right. On the left, I'll end up with 3a plus 4 because the a squared's made a 0. And on the right, I'll have 3a plus 5 because, again, the a squared's made a 0. So now I continue on. I want to get the a's together and alone. So I'm going to get them together by minusing 3 a's from both sides. But notice what happens. The a's disappear. And I end up getting 4 equals 5. But that doesn't make sense. 4 can't equal 5. So hopefully you remember what we say here. We say no solution because that is never equal. So the answer here is no solution. There is no a that will make these sides equal because 4 will never equal 5. Now let's take a look at the next example, example 3. So now we're solving for b. So start with our line, and then think through our strategies. We want to start by getting the b's together and alone. So on the left, I can combine the two b's to get 4 b's total, and I still have the minus 5. On the right, the minus 4 and the minus 1 can be combined to give me minus 5, or negative 5, plus 4b still. Just copy that down. So now I'm going to start by getting the b's together and alone. So I'm going to minus 4b from both sides to get them together. But notice again, similar to the last problem, the b's disappear, and I end up with negative 5 on the left and negative 5 on the right. Well, I look at this and I notice that b went away. This is a statement that is always true. So unlike the other one that said 4 equals 5, this says negative 5 equals negative 5. That's always true. And if it's always true, then that means that there are all solutions or infinite solutions for this problem. Both of those are correct ways to describe the result. That means that any number in the world could be plugged in for b and would make this equation true, because this will always be equal. So remember those two weird answers. You're either going to get a number, all solution, or no solution for linear equations. So do your best on the next set of problems here. You have a lot of problems to solve, but be sure to be careful with your combining like terms, your adding things, and your negatives. Okay? Ask your teacher lots of questions, and be sure to be asking to check your work as you go. Good luck, and don't be afraid to ask questions.